Each and every Wednesday at sportsmemo.com, you will get a 33% discount on everything you fit into your cart using coupon code CART33 when checking out. Whether it's a daily package, a one-day all-access, a 3, 7, or 30-day package, a full season of sports of your choice, or a full 12-month from your favorite handicapper, you will save 33% using coupon code CART33 on Fill Your Cart Wednesday. You can fill your cart as many times as you want each and every Wednesday. And even better, coupon code CART33 never changes and will become active each week at 12:01 and last until the clock strikes midnight.
Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Triple-Double Show for February the 2nd, 2022. And as always, I have my co-host and good friend and professional sports betting expert, Ronald Cabang, in the house. Ronald, welcome to the show. We're going to get started right away here with the 76ers. And the 76ers are on quite the roll right now. They just came off a game, as you know. We covered that game in our last show. With Embiid not even playing, the line was -3.5 as Philly's a favorite, and marking the highest swing this season in a new one-player news item that wasn't playing. It moved 7 points, making Memphis 3.5-point road favorite. And don't the Sixers and their team right now look good? And they took Memphis and beat them. Memphis is the third-ranked team in the Western Conference, and I can't say enough about this Sixers team. They're 31-19. They were once 17-17, as you know, Ronald. They're 25-24-1 for the season against the number. At home, they're only 14-10, but at one point they were 8-10, and it was hard to believe because they were the best home team record last year in the NBA, and they were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. And it looks right now like this team is really coming together. And not to create like a quote unquote political statement, but I can only imagine what this team would be like with that Ben Simmons on it, even if he didn't shoot. His defensive presence as being the runner-up defensive player of the year the last two seasons would be immeasurable. However, Thibault did a great job against Morant in the Memphis game and constantly hounded him. He still got 37 points, but it was on 15 for 30 shooting, and some of that shooting was spectacular. That guy is definitely one of the existing now up-and-coming stars in the NBA. Now, the one thing I did want to mention is the bench players for the Sixers have always been a concern with me. And, Drummond had 23 rebounds in the Memphis win. He also had double-digit scoring in the win. Maxey had 33 points and just led the offense with energy and enthusiasm. And he just looks like a kid playing on a park basketball court somewhere in a pickup game. And he's so much fun to watch, and he just seems to just loves the game so much, and it carries over to the teammates. And I haven't seen this team with this kind of chemistry in a long time. We might have to go back to the Charles Barkley era and maybe even Allen Iverson to get this kind of chemistry where everybody seems to be on the same page. And last but not least, I saw a situation that you don't see too much with superstars. Embiid was getting treatment for his lower back, and that's why he was not in the game. He had played 21 consecutive games, and he came running out of the locker room to congratulate his teammates when they won in the final minute, with Maxey scoring the go-ahead basket with 26 seconds left in the game. That kind of stuff I make note of. My models, the math doesn't understand that. It would never understand that, but that type of emotion and love for his teammates, I think is just monumentally important. Mm-hmm. So I obviously am on the Sixers in this game. The Wizards come into this Wells Fargo Center game on a 5-game losing streak, and they know that Bradley Beal is out for tonight's game among other players. The Wizards are 4-9-1 against the spread as a road underdog, and they are 2-5-1 against the spread, coming off a double-digit loss. I have no other way to break this game down but to take the Sixers tonight, whether Embiid plays or not.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, the Sixers, they're on a 5-game winning streak, and they're coming off that OT win over the Grizzlies without Joel Embiid, like you mentioned. And I feel like he might play this game because he's pretty – he seems like he's well-rested. And like you mentioned, he ran out the court like he wasn't he was doing all right.
Yeah.
But the on the Wizards side, they're on a 6-game losing streak, and they covered they couldn't even cover a double-digit spread yesterday against a against a Bucks team yesterday. And without Bradley Beal, they're obviously they're going to struggle. I don't really see how the line got smaller here for the Wizards. They're playing against a hotter team today, and they're also playing back-to-back home to road games. And again, Beal's going to be out, I think, for another week or so. I can't see how the Wizards can cover this game. So to me, I think the only thing that could possibly go wrong is the Sixers is maybe a possible look ahead to their upcoming three games. Mavs, Bulls, and Suns. That's a tough schedule right there, and they're top tier teams in the league right now. But really, that's the only thing that I could see that could hinder the Sixers playing, like beating these guys by like 20. So maybe Sixers first half is the play. They take care of the Wizards early and no risk for a backdoor if the Sixers decide to rest Embiid and a couple of the other starters. But to me, I mean, Sixers, like you said, is the only way to look in this game.
Yeah, and I like that first half because there's a system here I'll mention quickly. It's gone 52-20 over the last 5 seasons. That's 72% winners on the first half line, betting on the Sixers in this case. So you're going to bet on the home team facing a road team that has, after 4 or more consecutive losses, with the game occurring the month of February. And it does well in January, February, March in the second half of the season as well. But it does very, very well in the month of February. So that does support Philadelphia first half. Let's move on to the next game, Ronald, which is the Boston Celtics, who are find themselves in 9th spot in the Eastern Conference, 27-25 record. Seems like they're light years away from where the Sixers stand right now. And the Charlotte Hornets are kind of making a run here. They're 7th in the Eastern Conference, 28-23. Charlotte 6-4. 5-5 against the number, their last 10. Boston is also 6-4. They're straight up, but 5-5 against the number. This game is lined with Boston as a 5.5-point home favorite, total of 225 points. What do you see an opportunity in this matchup?
Yeah, I know. I mean, these two teams, they look to be kind of going in the opposite direction right now. The Hornets have lost 3 of their last 5. And failed to cover in 4 of them. The Celtics have won and covered in 4 of their last 5. During the last 5 games, the Celtics have the number 1 net rating at plus 21.7, and it's mainly due to their defense. They're playing unbelievable defense right now. Their defensive rating is 94.6, and the Hawks are actually second, and they're at 103, and that's a huge gap right there. That's nearly a 9-point difference. But if you take a look at a bit deeper into those games, who have they really beat in the last 5 games, really? A struggling Wizards squad, a Kings team without their leader Fox, Pelicans without their top 2 players. They didn't have Ingram or Jonas in that game. And a shorthanded Heat team missing their top players too. They didn't have Butler or Lowry. I think Tucker was out that game as well. So the numbers here are a bit misleading. The Celtics kind of get lucky again. The Hornets will be without Hayward again tonight, and they're slightly worse when it comes to their offensive and defensive rating without him in the lineup. But they should get Kelly Oubre back, so that might help a little bit. This is also a revenge spot for the Celtics. The Hornets got the W. I think it might have been a couple weeks ago in their last matchup. So for those reasons, I think I lean the Celtics here and a slight lean to the over. I think their defensive numbers are a bit misleading. Compared to the teams that they've been playing. The Hornets are obviously a better offensive team. Just a lean towards the Celtics again, though, just because Hornets are going to be without Hayward.
Do you see any matchup problems for the Celtics defensively, knowing that the Hornets play at such a fast clip? I mean, they're not the fastest team in the league, but they are ranked 3rd in average field goals attempted at 92. And they love the 3. They take an average of 36 3-point shots per game. That ranks 4th most in the NBA. Do you think the Celtics will be able to handle that?
I think so. I mean, they have the personality to stay with them as far as pace goes. Their offense obviously is a slower pace offense when they when they play the half court. But when they play a team that can play with pace, they definitely have a squad that can run with them. None of those guys are super old or can't run at all. They just obviously prefer a slower pace with that offense. But yeah, I definitely can see this moving faster.
All right, great job there. Let's move on to our third and final game of the triple double show. This is the Portland Trailblazers, 10th in the Western Conference, taking on the, I don't know how else to call them, dysfunctional Los Angeles Lakers, 9th in the Western Conference. They looked horrible in Philadelphia. They just looked horrible in that whole road trip, generally speaking. They're 21 and 30 against the spread for the season. Their over/under is 28, 22 and 1. They're only 15 and 12 at home. They're only 19 and 13 when installed as a favorite, and that means if you bet against the Lakers using the money line, you're a pretty happy camper right now at this point in the season. Portland has been struggling because they're missing multiple star players, and that's widely published. They're 21 and 30 on the season. This line has the Lakers as a very skinny 3.5 point home favorite. The over-under is 222.5 points. Ronald, do you think Portland can actually pull off the upset here at the Staples Center?
It's tough. I mean, like you mentioned, their squad is really hurt right now. They're missing a whole bunch of players. Obviously, Lillard, but even Nurkic is playing hurt. He's probably going to play today, but he's hurt. They're missing their backup bigs. So really, their bigs are where it's hurting them the most. And with Anthony Davis back for the Lakers, that's going to be tough for them. But both of these teams have been definitely underperforming this season. I mean, if you asked me before the season if we thought the Lakers and Blazers would both be under 500 this late in the season, I would have told you were crazy. But here we are. I think the Lakers do have a slight edge here with Anthony Davis playing. I think James might be out, LeBron might be out, but Malik Monk should be in. This game is one where you're gonna want to wait to see where the statuses are for their key players here. But to be honest, I can't really trust either side right now. I think there might be an edge on the total. I think the fact that the Blazers put up only 81 points total against the Thunder in their last game is the reason why the total isn't higher than it is. The Blazers went over this total in 3 straight games prior to the Thunder game, and the Lakers have gone over this total in 2 straight. Typically, the Lakers without LeBron would be an under team here, but both of these teams aren't playing much defense right now. I think the Blazers bounced back a bit offensively after a poor showing against the Thunder and helped push this one over tonight. To me, the bigger lean is the over.
And I share that lean on the over. It's supported by a pretty cool betting angle slash system. And it goes like this. You're going to play over the total of 220 to 229.5 points in a game involving two offenses that are averaging between 108, which is the league average, and 114 points. That's how I kind of slice it up on the data. In the second half of the season, and after the team, in this particular case, the Lakers, allowed 125 or more points in their previous game. So totals between 220 and 229.5. Both teams are averaging 108 to 114 points, and one of the teams is coming off a game where they allowed 125 or more points. That's gone 55 and 23 with 2 pushes for 70% on the nose over the last 20 NBA seasons. So that does support the over. Great job there. And let's move on to any possible best bets that you see here for the show, Ronald.
Yeah, I think the best bet today between the 3 shows, I think we wanna look towards the 76ers here. Either the first half or the full game are solid, but I do like the first half a little bit more better. What do you think, John?
I agree with you. I think it's a great opportunity to bet the first half only. And, I always go back to my live in-game betting. A strategy that I would recommend for somebody that wants to do this is similar to the first half. You would bet 50% on the Sixers now, which we call pre-flop. And then in-game, let's say they start out slow and the Wizards get a first quarter lead. You're going to be able to get that line a lot cheaper to add 2 chunks of 25%. So if you bet $100 a game, $50 pre-flop, and then look in game to get cheaper prices during the first and second quarters only. Third and fourth quarters are disqualified because there's not enough time, and I call it time decay, and your bet just erodes if you're not immediately correct on your wager and expectation. So first and second quarter to add 25% each on 2 separate bets that are cheaper than the pre-flop line that you get, and we just have to see how that rolls. But I think the Sixers at the end of the day will win this game, and I think they'll be comfortably ahead at halftime. So anything else, Ronald, or are we just going to settle on that one for the show?
For me, that's the one for me. I don't know. Do you see anything else that we could tackle right here?
I don't. I kind of, this Boston Hornets game is kind of iffy to me, but I'm solid like you are on the Sixers bet. So let's roll with that. And that'll conclude today's show. This is the Wednesday edition, February 2nd of the NBA Triple Double. We thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and do yourself a favor and ring the bell, because then you will get notification immediately of any show that is released by SportsMemo TV, and you won't miss an episode. So on behalf of SportsMemo TV and the Break the Playbook platform of these shows, always remember that with your head never over it, and may all the wins be yours.
Make sure to subscribe to SportsMemo TV, and you will get all of our latest videos on your YouTube homepage. If you do not want to miss the latest from our team of expert sports handicappers, just click the bell icon to get a real-time notification when we upload new sports betting tips and free sports picks.